Here at The Talk, we often like to come together to share a laugh. But today, we have come together to share our grief. As I'm sure most of you know by now, there was a terrible tragedy in Tucson, Arizona over the weekend. 40-year-old Congresswoman Gabrielle Gifford was shot in the head at point-blank range in what the FBI says was an assassination attempt. 6 others lost their lives, including a 9-year-old little girl. When you look at an event so tragic, so horrific as this, how do you make sense of it all?
You don't make sense of it, I don't think. And the thing that's really scary to me is that it just makes me feel like if you go anywhere, one random person can open fire and there's absolutely nothing you can do to protect yourself, protect your children.
Right. But you don't stop living your life because you cannot predict, you cannot prevent, you cannot predict it, but it is a sobering reminder that there are people out there who are not of sound mind that any of us can fall victim to at any minute.
And that's why you have to say to everybody every day, I love you.
Yeah, because you never know. I mean, these people were just going to the Safeway in Tucson to shake a congresswoman's hand, who, by the way, we did get some good news before the show that they are saying that she is making some progress, because getting shot in the head, point-blank range, and living is nothing short of a miracle.
Right.
So that is at least something to hang on to.
That's right.
And we do want to mention that 22-year-old Jared Loeffner has been charged with several counts of murder and attempted murder in the mass shooting. Now, we are all parents at this table. What would you do if your child was accused of such a heinous, heinous crime that took place Saturday?
You know, it's so hard to think about these things because you're not, thank God, in the situation. But if my kid did that, like, I really had to sit there and search my soul, like, I would feel so, I would throw myself at the mercy of the people who lost someone. And then in regards to my own kid, I feel like, I mean, this is my quick response to it because, you know, it's an emotional time, but I think I would really, first I would blame myself, of course. What did I not do? How have I failed my own child? But I couldn't see that child as my kid anymore. Like, you are not the person that I know, that I raised. Like, I would feel like...
Turn your back on your child?
I feel like my quick response to it is that I would be so anguished over it that I would just be like, you are not my child, you know, like I say that because I'm not, thank God, in that situation. But I feel like
it's a heavy burden to think that somebody that you raised could cause this much grief.
Right.
And I have to agree with you, Leah. I mean, if my kids could carry some, I mean, look, like, this is all speculation and I can't imagine it ever happening, but if it does happen and these people do have parents, and we haven't heard, I don't know if we've heard anything from the parents yet, right? But I think I agree with you. I think I'd be so distraught about the grief that was brought upon these families that I would just be like, you know what? My kid was wrong, and what can I do to help you?
Right.
And I'd have to do that.
You do have to stand by your child. I'm not saying what the person does is right, and I'm not saying you support it, but you go to court and you want them to be apprehended, I think, but I still think you're a part of... You raised that child, and I don't think it's fair to take yourself out of the problem.
But people have responsibility as a parent, and I think that you have to own that responsibility. And for me, I would only say that I would have such guilt, such shame, that I think I would just take myself out. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with the feelings.
I think you're also dealing with the loss of your child. Like, that must be so sad because those people, the child isn't who they thought he was.
But how do we not know these things are happening, Sarah? Like, how do we not know? How do you not know your kid has some kind? I mean, this cat, the stuff we've seen allegedly, we've seen on, you know, the internet. I mean, this dude had some issues.
I agree, but I don't think that you ever think your child's going to open fire in a public place.
But I agree with Holly that, you know, these are the kids that are in rooms by themselves. They're like loners, and their parents are like, well, he's eccentric, or he's just like speed by himself. You know what? No, he's crazy.